Hello viewer, welcome for Business Studies Form 2, and we would also like to hear your views. You can contact us through our SMS number, which is 4007, or through our Facebook at Erimu TV, or our Twitter handle, which is Erimu TV_KE. Today we are going to look at the forms of partnership, the partnership. And before that, let's look at our objectives. And by the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to define the term partnership, state and explain all types of partners, and also give advantages and disadvantages of partnership and how a partnership can be dissolved. Remember last time when we were talking about sole proprietorship, we defined the word dissolution, and we said this is whereby you bring a business to an end. But before that, let's look at our last lesson preview. I left you with two questions, one of which required you to define or you explain the possible sources of capital for a sole proprietorship. And I would expect you to have said the following. The first one, borrowing from friends. Remember, we said that a sole proprietorship is a form of business that is owned by an individual or one individual, and therefore, you as an individual, you can borrow money from your friends and you start a business. The other source of capital would be inheritance. One can inherit a business enterprise from his or her parents. The other source would be donations from friends and relatives. Your friends can donate some money to you so that you can start a business. The other one would be credit buy. You said that this is whereby you take goods on credit and then you pay at a later date. So we call that credit buying. The other one is plowing back profit. And this one we say is whereby the profits that you realize from your business, you take it back to the business, you expand that profit that you get by buying more stock, and that way you'd say that is plowing back profit. The other question, you are supposed to give the economic benefits of a sole proprietorship. How does the sole proprietorship help, or the advantages that it adds to our economy? One of them, I would expect you to say creation of employment, and I explained that, and I said anytime one puts up a business, you employ some other people, assistants, and that way you'd say it creates employment. The other one, making use of idle resources. If people become entrepreneurs, they start up businesses, and it could be any type of business. Some, like for instance, one may start a quarry whereby you start making stones for building. You find that before then, that place was just idle. So another economic benefit of sole proprietorship is enhancing use of idle resources. The other one was enhancing creation and innovation. When people get into business, they are able to think beyond what they are used to. And therefore, innovation comes in. People are able to get new ideas of which they could not have gotten there before. The other economic benefit of sole proprietorship is it acts as a source of government revenue. Anytime one puts up a business, you have to pay what we call license fee. You cannot just carry out a business just like that. So you have to get licensed, and for you to acquire that license, there is that amount of money that you're supposed to pay, and that money that you pay goes to the government, and therefore we can say that is our government revenue. Now, our topic of today, which is partnership, maybe you've ever come across such a word, but in terms of business, we define partnership as a business unit that is owned by more than one person, and those people who own this kind of business, it can only be owned by a minimum of 2 people and a maximum of 20. But for professional services, for instance, doctors, they are allowed to be a maximum of 50. So a partnership is a business unit owned by more than one person, And those people must be a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 20. We have various categories of partnership, and we can categorize partnership. Now, the partnerships are those people that owns that business. They are the owners, unlike in sole proprietorship, whereby we said the owner of the business is the person who starts it, the sole proprietor. But in partnership, we call them partners, the owners of a business. We are talking now about the categories of partnership, and I'm saying we can categorize them based on various ways. First of all, we can categorize them depending or according to the type of partners or according to the period of operation. And in general partnership, partners may either be classified as general or limited partners. General partners are the partners that are not limited, in other words. And what does this mean? This means that in case the business that they have started incurs some bad debts, the personal property of those partners can be claimed so as to repay the debts of the business. But for limited partners, if the business happens to incur bad debts, their personal property cannot be claimed as a way of trying to repay what the partnership owns. If we classify according to the period of operation, it can either be a temporary partnership or a permanent partnership. A temporary partnership is also referred to as a joint ventures. It only operates for a short period of time, but for a permanent partnership, it operates as long as possible. We now look at the types of partners, and also even partners, we can categorize them depending on, one, the role that the partner play. We can also categorize partners as in other liabilities. We can also categorize them depending on their age or capital contribution. And you are going to look at each and every one of them. And if we categorize partners according to their role, we have two types of partners, which are active partners or passive partners. From the word itself, active. If we talk about an active partner plays an active role in the day-to-day running of the business. So this means that that partner is always in the business, trying to make sure that everything is running smoothly. You may also find that in a given partnership, maybe you find that the accountant is also a partner. So that partner is an active partner. Whereas a passive partner, who is also referred to as a dormant partner, or a sleeping or silent partner, does not play any active role in the business. So you will never find that partner in the business trying to see whether the activities are running smoothly in the business. We can also categorize partners according to liabilities, and under liabilities, we have general partners and also limited partners. And I have mentioned earlier on that for general partners, they have unlimited liabilities. And this means that if a partner is a general partner, and in case the business happens to incur bad debts, what we call bad debts, you find that the personal property of these partners cannot be claimed as a way of trying to repay what the business owns. But for limited partners, we say that they have limited liabilities, and in case the business collapses, where it has so many debts, their personal property cannot be claimed to be able to repay what the business owes to its customers, for instance. If we let's continue with the types of partners, and we can also categorize them according to their ages. And under the ages, we have the minor partner and the major partner. A minor partner is a partner who is below 18 years of age. And this kind of a partner shares profit, but what he or she cannot do is that he or she cannot take part in management. He cannot take part in management of the partnership. A major partner, A major partner is a partner who has obtained the age of 18 years. So a major partner is a partner who is 18 years and above. We continue with the type of partners, and we can also categorize them. We can also categorize partners according to capital contribution. Under capital contribution, we have two types of partners, which include real partner and the nominal, also referred to as quasi-partner. A real partner is a partner who contributes capital into the business. So this kind of a partner, when the plan comes about for starting a partnership, this partner gives capital that is in form of money so as to start the partnership. But for a nominal or a quasi-partner, this partner only allows his or her name to be used for purpose of influencing customers. He or she only allows his or her name to be used for purpose of influencing customers. Most of the time, this type of partners are the famous people. Maybe think of a person who is so famous in our country. You can use the name of that person, maybe to try and market your product or commodities. And that way, since that person is a famous person, you'll find that influences people to buy your products. I want now to look at how a partnership is formed. And for a partnership to be formed, first of all, partners come together and they agree that they want to form a business unit, which we are calling a partnership. Now, and after they agree, they have to sit and come up with what we call an agreement, that is to avoid misunderstanding in the course of running the business. So partners first comes up with a partnership agreement to avoid misunderstanding. And after they agree on what rules they are going to follow, they have to put that down on paper. And when those partnership agreements are put down on paper, they are referred to as the partnership deed. Now, let's look at the items that are found in a partnership deed. And one of the items is the name of the partnership. So, for you to start up a business, which is in form of partnership, you have to give a name. You give a name to that partnership. So, one of the items would be the name of the partnership. The other one is the address of the head office. Remember, for any business to operate efficiently, there must be the head office where all activities are operated from and where the board members maybe would be meeting and make important decisions. The other one is the location. Location. When you talk about location, we mean where the business will be put up. So location and the area of operation of the business would also be another item that you would find in a partnership deed. And the other item is the term of partnership. Term of partnership. Is it a temporary partnership or a permanent partnership? Remember, I've told you that a temporary partnership only operates at a short period of time, and after that, it is done away or it is dissolved. A permanent partnership operates as long as possible unless there comes a circumstance whereby the partnership have to be dissolved. But if not, then it continues to operate as long as possible. The other item you'd find in a partnership deed would be the rate of interest on capital. Remember that one of the source of capital for a partnership would be the contributions by the partners, and we call that capital. So they get, depending on how much one has contributed, which we are referring to as capital, one receives interest. So they have to agree the rate of interest on capital. The other would be the capital to be contributed by each partner. First of all, remember, before you start up any business, you have to look at the amount of capital that you have. So even for the partners, for them to be able to know the kind of business they need to start up, they need to, first of all, decide on how much each and every partner is going to contribute. Then they can decide the kind of business to put up. The other one would be objectives of the business. This includes the activities or the type of product that the business will be producing. and what they are aiming to achieve. So objectives of the business. The other one is the rate of interest on loans. Remember, partners are usually given loans, and therefore they have to decide. They have to decide on the rate of interest on those loans that is given to the members. The other item you'd find in a partnership deed would be the salaries and commissions to partners. How much and this one applies to the active partners, how much they will be getting as remuneration in terms of salaries. The other one would be the procedures of dissolving the partnership in case the partnership, in case it reaches a point whereby the partnership needs to be dissolved. What are the procedures? What are the procedures? So they have to also agree on that. And the other one would be the profit and loss sharing ratio. So this form of business could either realize profit at the end of a trading period, and therefore the partners have to agree how they will be sharing that profit, or in case they incur losses. All partners have the responsibility of managing the business, and each partner is assigned to different areas depending on their speciality or ability. So remember, partners are people who come together and they decide to put up a business enterprise. So you find that the activities or the responsibilities given to them depends on what lies in. Maybe you may have an accountant coming together with another one who has done secretarial. So the duties or the responsibilities assigned to partners depends on one's qualification. And let's now look at the sources of capital. One of the possible sources of capital would be loans from banks and other financial institutions. Partners can come together and they approach any bank, and then they acquire a loan, and after that they put up a business. The other one would be getting items on hire purchase. Hire purchase is whereby you pay a deposit for a commodity or for any good. Then the remaining balance you pay in installments depending on how you agree with your seller. So even partnership can start up a business by first acquiring the assets on hire purchase, by giving a given deposit, then they pay the rest in installments, and then the business just kicks off. They start up the business. The other one would be the trade credit, and I told you earlier on that this is whereby you obtain goods on credit and pay for them at a later date. The other source of capital, we continue with the sources of capital. Plowing back profit, and this one we also mentioned it when we were talking about sole proprietorship, and this is using part. It involves using part of the profit obtained to expand the business. So after you make some profit, you don't utilize or you don't use all the profit that you get. So you take part of the profit and maybe you buy and that way using the profit that you have. That one is referred to as plowing back profit. The other one would be leasing and renting, and this one involved giving one, and as a result you get to expand your business. Maybe a business may be owning maybe some rental houses, a commercial vehicle. You can rent that or lease that out, and the money that you realize out of leasing and renting, you use it to expand your business. Let's now look at advantages of partnership. One of the advantages of partnership is that it can raise small capital, unlike sole proprietorship. This means that partnership stands a higher chance of getting, for instance, a loan from a bank as compared to a sole proprietorship, because a partnership is a bigger business compared to a sole proprietorship. And when we talk of a bigger business, that means the assets that a partnership owes are more than that of a sole proprietorship. And remember, for you to be given a loan, either by the bank or any other financial lending institution, they look at your asset. How much do you owe? Are your assets worth the loan that you want to get from them? And if so, you are able to get the loan. So you find that since a partnership has more assets than a sole proprietorship, it is easier for a partnership to raise more capital, unlike the sole proprietorship. The other advantage of a partnership is a reduced workload, because work is distributed among partners. In the sole proprietorship, was only the owner of the business who was involved in all activities. For instance, one may be a sole proprietor, but maybe not good in bookkeeping. And remember, for your business to be able to succeed, you need to know how to keep your books of accounts, how to record, so that you're able to calculate whether you are getting profit or loss. But you find that in partnership, since it is involving more than one person, one is usually assigned an area that he or she is good in, and therefore workload, we say it is reduced. The other one is losses and liabilities are shared among partners. So this is an advantage because in case of a sole proprietorship, for instance, if one incurs losses, it is the person only, the owner of the business, to be able to deal with that alone. So, but he or she will suffer the losses alone, but in partnership, that one is shared among the partners, and therefore that one does not become a burden to the members, because they are sharing the losses amongst themselves. We continue with advantages of partnership, and the other one is that there are very few legal requirements in the formation of partnership compared to a public limited company. A public limited company is a business unit that we are going to look at later on, and we are going to look at how it is formed. And you'll find that for one to form a public limited company, there are so many legal requirements one needs to go, so many steps that one has to go through so as to be allowed or to be given the certificate of trading. But for a partnership, you only need to come together, come up with a partnership deed, and therefore you forward that to the right person. And after that, you are given the license to start up your business. So we are going to look at the public limited company later on, and you are also going to compare the two. The other one is that better decisions are made from consultation and the sharing of ideas. Remember, here we are dealing with more than one person who is qualified in different areas, and therefore find that the decisions that are made are usually right and beneficial to the business, as compared to the sole proprietorship, whereby it is only the owner who makes the decisions, and since this person does not consult, he or she might end up making a wrong decision that will negatively affect the business. Let's now look at disadvantages of partnership. One of the disadvantages is that mistakes done by one person leads to losses shared by all partners. We said that either the profit or the losses is shared equally among the partners, and therefore in case one person makes a mistake which happens to bring losses to the business, this one is also shared amongst all the partners. So that one is a disadvantage, because to be fair enough, it is actually that person who is supposed to take that burden of his or her mistake, but due to decision making. The other one is that or her effort, because the profits are shared among the partners. This is a scenario whereby you find some people are very, very hardworking, and therefore the business realizes some profits, and you also have maybe another partner who is not as hardworking. So it is a disadvantage to the hardworking partner, because the profits realized out of his or her hard work will have to be shared by even other partners who are not hardworking. So this one is a disadvantage because it would only be fair for the profit realized by the partnership out of the so much hard work by this partner to be given to that only one partner, but that is not usually the case in partnership. All profit realized must be shared among the partners. The other disadvantage is that limited access to source of capital compared to companies. You find that now when we talk about limited source of capital, what we look at here is the size of the business. You find that limited companies are usually bigger. So what we mean is that they have more assets compared to partnerships, and therefore you find that for limited companies they can be able to get more huge amount of loans from banks and other financial institutions, and therefore find that it is an advantage to the limited companies, but a disadvantage to the partnership, and a disadvantage to the partnership. Let's now look at the dissolution of partnership. And once again, I said dissolution is whereby a business is brought to an end. You put an end to the operations of a business. One of the reasons why a partnership may be dissolved would be mutual agreement by partners. This is whereby partners mutually agree to end the business or to dissolve the business. So partners can sit down and say, let's call it a day, and therefore let's dissolve this business. So it stops operating. The other possible reason for dissolution of partnership is the death, bankruptcy, or insanity of a partner. Death is whereby one dies. Bankruptcy is whereby the partnership runs out of cash, and it can no longer continue to operate. Insanity of a partner is whereby one loses his or her right mind and becomes insane. So these are also possible causes of dissolution of a partnership. The other one would be the completion of an intended purpose, and most of the time this one applies to temporary partnership. Remember, we said that a partnership can either be permanent or temporary. And when for a temporary partnership, after they complete their purpose, what they were intending to do, they just dissolve that. So if the intended purpose has been completed, then the partnership can be dissolved. The other one would be a court order for the business to dissolve. A court may give an order, that is after one has raised a complaint, either a partner requiring the partnership to be dissolved, and after giving enough reasons, maybe the court can give an order that the partnership must be dissolved. The other one would be if the partnership engages in unlawful business. The partnership engages in unlawful business. If the business happens to start producing goods that are not healthy to the consumers, then the court can order that business to be dissolved or to be closed down. The other possible reason for dissolution would be request by a partner to dissolve it. This whereby one partner requests dissolution of a partnership by writing, and after that then it can be dissolved. The other one is admission or retirement of a partner. This whereby maybe the partnership wants to admit a new partner. The partnership is usually dissolved temporarily, but then it starts operating. So it just stops operating for a while, then it continues to operate after it admits a new partner, or during the retirement of an old partner. It just stops to operate just for a while, and then it continues. The other one would be continued disagreements among partners. This is whereby partners usually don't get in good terms anytime they have an issue, and this continued disagreement may also call for discussing. So work comes before success. So you have to work fast so as to be able to succeed.